24 hours to go for the big World Cup final in Ahmedabad. India practicing in the center wicket. Lots of talk about the wicket, mixed soil. What's going on? Has India changed hotels? Is it superstition? What is happening with the team 11? Before the show started, Shomik was wearing black shades. Is it too hot? What is it like? Let me go across straight to Shomik for the first reaction. Shomik, what's going on in Ahmedabad? Give me a lowdown.
Yeah, first and foremost, let me make it clear that ICC has offered India a mixed soil pitch for this game. This narrative or this report is totally wrong. On the very first day of the tournament, it was decided, irrespective of the participants in the final, the center pitch will be used for the final. And that was decided on day one, about a month back. Exactly a month back, it was decided. So it's not the new thing that at the 11th hour, ICC decided to change the decision to help India's case. That is absolutely not true. That is number one. As far as the weather, it is scorching hot. Around the real feel is like about for 40 degrees Celsius. Um, See, the pitch is going to be my assumption is, and Mitchell Santner also said it is going to be full of runs. My assumption is it would be very pretty similar to the one that was used at Wankhede for the semi-final. It will be full of runs. I don't know about the dew in the evening. We'll get to know about the dew factor, whether dew can play. I mean, dew can affect this game or not. We'll get a feel towards the back end of India's practice training session, which is from 6:45, which is from 6 p.m. Before that, Surya Kumar Yadav will come for the pre-match press conference, and all set. And Mitchell Santner say, we won't mind breaking a few hearts.
So he's basically trying to emulate Pat Cummins and wants to silence the big Ahmedabad crowd, Mitchell Santner. Not a bad ploy. That's what Pat Cummins did. Firstly, Neil, Shomik full frame, me in a shorter frame. Get him full frame there, Shomik. Uh, yeah, now that's better. Shomik, yesterday you reached Ahmedabad around 9 p.m. Was there dew? Did you kind of check that? Were you able to find out? Have you spoken to locals? Was there any dew? Will that impact the toss? Your thoughts?
No, see, the summer has come a bit early in the western part of our country. And even in Bombay, there is not much dew. Here, it will be even less. But then again, you can't predict, because dew is something so unpredictable. Out of the blue, it might come and affect the game. As things stand, nobody is fearing that the dew factor would impact this game. It is unlikely to happen. Otherwise, once again, as I said, there is a breeze blowing. There is a nice breeze blowing, and once there is the sundown, I think it would be cooler. But at this moment, it is very hot.
So, Shomik, the next question that one needs to ask. I mean, you mentioned that it could be a big batting wicket, very much like Wankhede on the cards, lots of runs. But this is a bigger ground. So the spinners will come into play in that sense that, miss hits will not go for a six. That way, are you still expecting 240, 250, that kind of scores? Or you reckon more in the 200 range that, okay, it's a good batting
Yeah,
day. But one day, it went up to 250 and that almost got chased. Is this
exactly.
around the 210, 220? What is your thought?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. It is about a two. It could be 210, 220 type of pitch, and 210, 220 type of pitch. And in modern day 2020 cricket, that total is. That total is chaseable. So it is about. See, at the end of the day, it is the final. It's about handling pressure. You, irrespective of the when the runs will be put on the board, the side that will bat second, irrespective of the conditions, irrespective of the dew factor, that team will be under a little bit more pressure, because it is about the and I look, New Zealand are in an uninviable position, because if New Zealand win, they when they will return to the Wellington airport, there would be around 10 people. If they lose, they would still be applauded, and at the Wellington airport, there would be around two or three fans. So it doesn't matter for them. They have already punched above their weight, and they have reached the final. But for India, it's a home World Cup final, and maybe from the fans' perspective, they don't have the license to lose.
I've actually written this, Shomik. I've written this in my column tomorrow, so you plagiarize that. But on a more serious note, at Wellington Airport, I will correct you. There will be 10 fans. If they win, out of the 10, 8 will be expats who are Indians settled in New Zealand. So two locals and 8 expats. And when they lose, there will be three. Let me make that five. All five will be expats who will come to still see the team. So that is the difference for normal New Zealanders. Whether they win, lose, they will watch the game, move on with their lives. But for India, if Surya Kumar Yadav wins this, there will be a statue. If Gautam Gambhir wins this, Gautam Gambhir's coaching career has completely 180 degrees changed. Each of these players will get huge amount of money. You will see 100 crores being given. You will see people on the streets dancing. For India, this is much more than a game, and that's why when people talk about pressure, and I do, you do, I think the pressure is squarely on India. It is about how India handles that pressure. Are they treating it as privilege, or are they treating it as a burden? That is what will decide. Do you think, Shomik, that this Indian team has the ability to take pressure better? I think that's why India are ahead, because a Surya, a Gautam Gambhir, a Jasprit Bumrah, each of these fellows, a Hardik Pandya, they take pressure extremely well. Your thoughts?
and and that is why they won the semi-final. When that partnership was on between Jacob Bethel and Will Jacks, also it felt like, I mean, England are going to win that game. But India pulled things back, and that was not a case in isolation. You go back you go back to the 2024 World Cup final. The game sat in South Africa's dugout. Why still India did win it? Because they were better at handling pressure. And here also, this team has that kind of steel, and not for nothing, they are the team to beat at every ISIS event. The special ability of this team is to revel under pressure, and that is the hallmark of this team.
Let me ask you this. You actually had a better vantage point than me in the semi-final. You were right behind the bowler's arm, in the hospitality area. I was in the press box. There was a glass kind of layer there, and I that was impacting my view. But you mentioned this to me in our personal chat, that Jasprit Bumrah, imagine this, bowling to Harry Brook on a motorway like a pitch, still has the courage to come and bowl a slower ball at the start. What does that tell you about the genius's ability to handle pressure? And then that catch. 1930s also, Bapu couldn't be handled. Now also Bapu can't be handled by the English.
See, and the best part was the seat I had. I could follow the wrist position, movement, everything. It was the brilliant seat. And any day of the week, I will trade my praise box pass for a seat like that. Any day of the week, because that is the best place to watch the game and follow the game. 99% of the delivery, Bumrah was going to have pace on the ball. He was bowling, he was gripping the seam in a way, he was gripping the seam in a seam up, and Harry Brook, right? I mean, there is no fault as far as Harry Brook was concerned, that he expected pace in that delivery. At the very last moment, just at the time of release, he just tweaked his finger over the seam and made it a cutter. And he lost control. Harry Brook completely lost control. He lost the bottom hand and he lofted it. And then again, I have given Akshar Patel a moniker, which is Air Akshar.
Yeah, I mean, that day Akshar Patel could do anything. He could even, fly and intercept any missile that could have been thrown at the time of war. So that's how good Akshar Patel was. Gargi was now trying to do her own jiggle, doing the other side, this side, that side. This is the fun, unbelievable. But Shomik, before I let you go, give me a lowdown. Mitchell Santner press conference, big talk. Mitchell Santner saying it will be nice to silence the crowd. He also talked about Jasprit Bumrah. Quick update from the Mitchell Santner press conference. Your highlights from it.
Highlights is that about he being pretty cool, pretty relaxed, and you expect that from the New Zealand team. And they are carrying forward the confidence of comprehensively beating South Africa. It was a hammering at the semi-final. That Glenn Phillips knock. And Glenn Phillips, we have to keep in mind that Glenn Phillips didn't do it against a run of the mill bowling attack. He did it
You
against
mean
the
Finn
two
Allen? You mean Finn
Yeah,
Allen?
sorry.
Finn Allen.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Finn Allen. He did it against two of the very best, Marco Janssen and Kagiso Rabada, followed by Lungi and Gedi. So all combined, that they will carry that confidence. And one important thing, Mitchell Santner said, "Look, this Indian team is not unbeatable because South Africa beat them during the Super 8 stage, and England came very close to pull off a victory. So from that point of view, this Indian team is not unbeatable. So we have to do that, and we have to. Our motto will be to India will already be under pressure. Playing a World Cup final in front of 130,000 fans at the Narendra Modi Stadium, they will already be under pressure, and our motto will be to add a little bit more to that pressure, and that is and between the lines. This is my interpretation. He resorted to a bit of mind games, which is expected from a rival captain before the big game. Although he defended Varun Chakravarti, I asked him about whether Varun Chakravarti, and especially the way Jacob Bethel treated him. Jacob Bethel the other day sort of toyed with Varun Chakravarti, and he will be low on confidence. So whether that gives New Zealand a psychological edge, he said no. He is a world class bowler, and he is just one game away from turning the tide. But as far as I am concerned, I think India should, for tomorrow's game, consider Kuldeep's option in place of Varun.
Okay, I'll let Shomik go. Big point. Lot of people asking, will there be a change? Shomik throwing that last the roll of the dice from him as he was about to leave. He's put that doubt in people's mind. Kuldeep Yadav, is that an option for India? Can India make that change in the final? Shomik, watch the India practice. Enjoy Surya's press conference and ask Surya something which will get us, an interesting one. But go enjoy. A final is for everybody of us to enjoy. All the very best to you, Shomik. Catch up soon. I hope Gargi does join and doesn't get retired out here. So Shomik Chakraborty there reporting from Ahmedabad. Time for Gargi Raut to join. Neil, check on Gargi. Where did she disappear after joining? She was having a problem fixing the side of the frame. But, let me, in this duration, before Gargi joins, quickly take some questions. There are lots already. Hi, Boryada. Yes, hi. Layout looks good. Thank you. The credit for this layout goes to Neil and not me. Ask Boria sir, do you think any changes? Shomik said Kuldeep Yadav, I don't think any change. Will Modi ji, there's Gandhi Rao joins me. Will Modi ji, okay, let me ask her this. Will Modi ji be going to make Sanju the ambassador of Kerala?
Ambassador for what?
Kerala, ambassador of Kerala. And will he be joining the BJP to win Kerala for the BJP?
You know what, Boria, I'll tell you something. After that first Sanju Samson performance that we saw in the World Cup, who was it against? West Indies, the West Indies performance. After that, a top Olympic, Indian Olympian messaged me on Instagram and said that today should be, or rather the Kerala government tomorrow should now name this as Sanju Samson Day and give everyone holiday. So that's the craze when it comes to Sanju Samson.
I will pass this message on to Shashi Tharoor. I'll pass this message to Shashi. Yeah, because he's a huge Sanju Samson advocate. Leave this, because it's the three of us leave this. But Gargi, before I go to Ashok, quick lowdown. You said India practicing center wicket. Shomik said that this mixed soil and all of that, the way it has been represented in the media that the ICC is favoring India by preparing a pitch is all bull. So clarify this once and for all, what is going on.
Yes, so Shomik was also there, and before that as well, I also personally had a chat with this ICC source, and we had a long conversation about what is being put out there in the media. There is a lot of misrepresentation when it comes to hotels, dressing rooms, pitches, and it's been when it comes to the dressing room and the hotels, it's been said that it's because of superstition and this and that, but that's not the case. India is still very much in the same dressing room as they were the last time around and in the last World Cup that they played here. And the other thing is that when it comes to the wicket, because a lot of media media outlets were reporting that India is playing on a mixed soil pitch. That's not the case. Since the World Cup began, ICC had already decided which pitch was going to be used. At the very beginning of the tournament, the pitch that was to be used for the finals had been decided. So it is the center wicket. It is always the center wicket, is what the source was telling me. The source also told me that ICC makes this pitch decision when it comes to the finals before the tournament even starts. So Ahmedabad being the last venue that is being played, but the pitch was already, the decision was made that this is the surface that was going to be used, and it's always been the center wicket. Always, every final that has happened, the same wicket has been used. So it's not a mixed soil wicket. It is the proper Ahmedabad and Ahmedabad red soil pitch, and you can expect some good scores on this as well.
Okay, let me go to Ashok now. Now this is interesting. Ashok Nambudri is not in Dubai. He has somehow managed to wiggle away from all the missiles that were flying over the Dubai airspace, book himself a chartered flight, and I don't know how he managed it, but he did, and he's actually in Ahmedabad. So welcome back to India. Gargi Raut, Ashok Nambudri, Rohit Juglan, Shubhayan, Debashish Shomik, all of them in Ahmedabad. Ashok, first thoughts. How is it looking? You missed the semi-final. You missed the quarter-final virtual, but now you are in that big game, and because of you, I think the Ahmedabad jinx will go, because you are the new entrant and you will handle that. Tell me what's going on.
As they say in Dubai, inshallah to that, Boria. I really hope that happens. But first thoughts, I've kind of cut across the city, gone to across 4 kind of zones in the city. The first thing that and I've spoken to a lot of people, fans, a few cab drivers, and the first thing that they say is, oh, we are so used to cricket, we are so used to fans coming here, we are so used to media people coming here. It's almost like Ahmedabad is the cricket capital of India, because people just take it in their stride. It's nothing novel. And that's the first thing that struck me, that people, there's a lot of excitement. I can see a lot of people talking about the match, but it's in their stride. I think we've been speaking about what to expect. I think we have to accept the fact that India has finally made it to the finals, and that's a big thing. And at this point of time, we can, go and analyze it a lot. But at the end of the day, it's really about mental character and confidence, and there's nothing else that really matters.
Gargi, that's a very important point Ashok just made. There is a super chat, I'll take that. But before that, Ashok made this point about India making it to the final. Under Gautam Gambhir, you won the Champions Trophy. Under Gautam Gambhir, you have won the Asia Cup, and you have now made the final of the World Cup in white ball. Red ball, I am not going into it, because red ball, he's not had a good run. But in white ball, this is stellar. Champions Trophy champions, Asia Cup champions, and now final of the ICC T20 World Cup. Gautam Gambhir should be reasonably, proud of this particular record, and people should take note. Under Ajit Agarkar, this is the 4th straight ICC final. Very brilliant. 24 Champions Trophy, 23, and this one. Think about it. 23 final, 24 final, 25 Champions Trophy win, and now this one. This is incredible record, Gargi Rao.
Absolutely, it is incredible, and it is not easy to do. It's not easy to pull off, because T20 cricket is such a volatile format that... One second. T20 cricket is such a volatile format that you can't always, even if you're the best team in the tournament, there are always chances that you will be, ousted from the tournament due to one team having a brilliant day and outperforming. It is such a there's so much volatility in the shortest format of the game. But despite all of that, India has been able to make all of these finals, and I think it all comes down to the champion mindset. Ashok, can you please mute yourself? It all comes down to, the champion mindset that Gautam Gambhir has been able to inculcate in these young boys. I think that's one area where Gautam Gambhir deserves a lot of credit. He deserves a lot of credit for backing the right people, for identifying talent, and also, someone like an Abhishek Sharma, bringing in an Ishan Kishan at the right time. He could have left him out. You had a Sanju Samson, you had an Abhishek Sharma, but to pick and choose the right talents and when to bring them in, I think that also deserves Ajit Agarkar and the rest of the selection committee deserve a lot of credit for that as well. The other thing is the robustness of the mental temperament that this team has. It is something that we don't talk about enough, because this is not a team that is afraid of anything. This is not a team. This is a team that can switch between and adapt to tricky conditions very, very well. We saw what happened in the first half of the tournament. And India quickly recognized that even if the wickets are tricky, we can't play like this. And we were critical of the team. We were critical of that approach because it was so non-India because of the 1 year of the ultra aggressive brand of cricket that we had seen from Team India had suddenly switched. It was a complete 180 from what we were used to seeing. And to go from that to that little slump that India had, that little hurdle at the beginning of the tournament, and then once again making a 180, changing the batting order, changing the roles, the kind of clarity and the kind of conversations that have been had in this team, I think are very important. And that's something that Gautam Gambhir deserves a lot of credit for. Again, those bold calls can go horribly wrong, and when they do, we are the first persons to go out there and criticize. But when they go right, you know that some real thinking has been done there.
Yeah, important points there, Ashok. Important points from Gargi and Gautam and Ajit, like we said, deserves credit. I mean, unfortunately, Gautam is bashed every second day like people's second habit. But Ashok, you've done 20 columns on Sanju Samson and keep talking about brand Sanju Samson. YouTube Views asks if he wins it, will Modi ji make him the governor of Kerala?
I think Kerala has the highest literacy, amongst all the states. Even the biggest superstars, Mohanlal and Mammootty, have never made it to politics. Forget about chief minister. So I think the Malayali viewer is going to be very, very discerning, but he is going to be right up in their hearts for sure.
So Ashok, something in Malayali today. What would the Malayali viewer say to Sanju Samson? You are our language whiz. Tell us.
You would say, Adi Poli Cheta, go and do it.
Lovely. Another one. Take this. Gargi, take this same team. And what do you think will be the toss factor? Shomik said massive scores are expected. He said 200 plus is what he is expecting, having checked out the conditions and having spoken to people. Are you getting the same 200 par or more than 200? And what do you think will be about the toss? Both of you reached Ahmedabad yesterday night. Did you see dew? Is that going to be a factor at all? Gargi first and then Ashok.
Boria, last night we came in very late, so we weren't able to come and visit the stadium. But tonight I'll be keeping an eye on when the dew falls and how long and how heavy it is. But at the same time, like I said in my earlier answer as well, when I spoke to the ICC source, I did tell you about that this is going to be a very high scoring game. And obviously, when it comes to the ICC, when it comes to semi-finals and finals, you don't want a 120 low-scoring thriller. You don't want that. ICC does not want that. You want all 40 overs to be played. You don't want a collapse or anything like that. So something like what you saw in the semi-final with India versus England is something that is expected here as well. You will expect a lot of runs to be scored on this particular wicket, which is the center wicket at the Ahmedabad stadium, at the Narendra Modi Stadium. And toss. When it comes to the toss, again, I'll have a better answer once I have a look at the dew. But I do think India should bat first.
Ashok, this is a good question. Amartya Chakraborty says, as a sports fan, tomorrow will be a massive day. All England final, ICC T20 final. Lakshya Sen will play at 6 o'clock. And if he takes down Lai, it will be an All England final having an Indian singles player. And I ask you this, because I think Lakshya Sen and Sanju Samson are very similar. Both are incredibly talented. I had done a column, by the way, 2 days back, comparing Lakshya Sen and Sanju Samson. Lakshya Sen can do anything on the court and then disappear for half an hour and lose the match. Same with Sanju Samson. When he plays that shot, you're like, boy, how can he play that? And then he will just give it away. But this tournament, Sanju Samson has become consistent plus talent. Lakshya Sen, consistency plus talent at the All England, and that is lethal. Massive day for these two performers tomorrow if Lakshya wins today, Ashok.
For sure. I think, the big news really is that India is on the cusp of really becoming, a major force when it comes to talent. And exactly right in terms of the comment saying that there is so much of sporting activity to look up to. As far as Sanju Samson goes, I think that's going to be a classic case study in terms of, someone whose talent was never under question. Perhaps there was a mental block. Perhaps there was an issue around working around it. If you see the last few months, There's been chopping, changing. He's been asked to open. He's been asked to go down the middle order. He's remained consistent, and he's come back saying that I'm going to be determined. I'm going to back myself and make it happen. And he's actually made that happen. And I think that's going to be a template which is going to apply going forward to a lot of players. Like Gargi said earlier, if you really think about the fact that India now scores a 200 or a 225 without batting an eyelid, that's really unlearning the art of batting when it comes to the T20 format. And it has taken a lot of effort to do that. I don't think people give enough credit to Gautam Gambhir for that. But I think that's a big unlearning that the team has done. The ability to keep scoring even if the wickets fall. And, from a business commercial perspective, it is almost like falling of wickets is being priced into your batting averages. And that's the reason why you're able to do it. I think that's a big, big call.
Good point. Let me ask Gargi one question and let her go for the press conference, because Surya will address the press. So Surya will obviously, the skipper will address the press ahead of the big final. A lot of people asking this, Gargi. Cinestream reviews, fun with Biplab. Will there be a chance for Kuldeep Yadav? Shomik made the case that Varun relatively less on confidence. He apparently asked that to Mitch Santner. Is there a case for Kuldeep Yadav replacing Varun Chakravarti? Are you hearing chatter? Is Kuldeep Yadav going to come into the reckoning at all? What are you hearing? What are you picking up?
I haven't had many conversations about Kuldeep versus Varun, but what my hunch is telling me that India will go unchanged. That I don't see a reason for Kuldeep Yadav coming into the game on this particular wicket, on this particular ground, and especially you also have to think about the fact that it's New Zealand that is standing in front of you. Kuldeep has a very, very mixed record against New Zealand. They have brilliant players of spin in the middle order, which is why I think India should stick with Varun Chakravarti. Yes, Varun hasn't been at his best throughout this tournament, but he's given you very important breakthroughs regardless. And with Ahmedabad being such a huge ground with large dimensions, it's going to be difficult to hit Varun Chakravarti. This is not a Wankhede where a Tim Seifert or a Finn Allen can come out and play sweeps and reverse sweeps and be sure that Varun's pace will carry the shot into the stands. That's not going to happen here. So the dimensions will also come into play. The fact that it's a red soil pitch will also come into play, and there could be dew. So I do not see a case for Kuldeep Yadav. I don't see a reason why that should happen. My gut says Varun Chakravarti will play and India will go unchanged.
Okay, I'll let you go. Go, and Surya Kumar Yadav will give you some witty answers in the press conference, though he'll leave you hanging. He'll try to be funny, exactly what Surya does. But go and attend the press conference and then give our viewers the live as to what's exactly being said. What's the mood like? What's the body language also like? Try and read that. Thank you, Gargi Rao. Thank you, George, for joining me. Ashok, you and I will continue for a few more minutes. This is an important question. Cinestream Reviews says Kuldeep Yadav in the Champions Trophy have taken Williamson and Rachid Ravindra. That's an important point. Can Kuldeep come into play? So there's a lot of talk on Kuldeep. There is a super chat, Ashok. Neil, a super chat ta Devama. The super chat, I think, is, I'll read it out. Yeah, here's the super chat. Jeet 2014. Hi, Boryada, feels like a flat surface. Toss going to be a big factor. Bat first, bowl first, winning the toss. Ashok, again, it will boil down to a little bit of dew. Your thoughts on this one?
Okay, so a lot of questions. First, let me take the dew one, which is the most recent thing. Like Gargi, I also came in late in the night, so really couldn't observe it. I heard Shomik say that the temperature feels like 40 degrees, but now it's about 5:30, just 5:35 or so. It's beginning to cool down a little bit, and we'll wait and watch and see if there is a dew that's going to come into play for sure. As regards batting first, bowling first, I think, I've made my point. It's been a revolution with regard to batting. India's ability to dominate both on the ground as well as mentally is to go out and bat first. And I think that should be the one. Given the fact that it's going to be a red soil pitch, it's looking a little bouncy. I think that's the way to go. As regards Kuldeep and Varun, look, the argument on the Champions Trophy, I understand. But, I went and looked at the bilateral series versus New Zealand, looked at Varun and Kuldeep. And it's even Stevens with Varun being a little ahead of Kuldeep, in fact, in terms of actual delivery. Second, you look at the venue at Ahmedabad. Actually, Varun has a better recent performance. Even in the match against South Africa at Ahmedabad in December, he took a 4 for 54 or 55. And finally, if you look at what Morne Morkel said yesterday, and I think that's the real clincher, which is that this man has got a huge armory. And it's that even if he gets hit for six in one ball, he has the ability to go back and take another one. And so it's a bit of a mental recalibration that's required. It's not an issue of talent. I think he's been struggling a little bit when he gets hit, and he just needs to apply himself to come back. And I'm sure that the coaches would have worked with him to do that. So my bet is, I mean, I would disagree with Shomik, and I think there is no case to disturb the winning combination.
Ashok quite emphatic there. No case to disturb the winning combination. Anandamoy, Buriada, happy advance 50th birthday. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you very much. That's why I'm in Kolkata to try and spend a little bit of time with family. That's not happening actually. Spent all morning at the studio. Maybe tomorrow. Neil, I've sent you the photograph of the studio. Show it to Ashok. Show it to Ashok. Ashok has not seen it. Show it to our viewers. Neil, I've sent you the photo. Play the photo. Play the photo of the studio when you get it ready. Okay, I think Surya will want to bat first. Says fun with Biplab, Deepak Kumar. That's the studio. Almost.
Wow.
Ashok, this is today. This is today. About 2-3 hours back when I visited it, we are almost there. Floor 1 and floor 4 are ours. So almost there. Look forward to welcoming you in Calcutta on Monday night and then taking you to the studio on Tuesday. We are almost there. Fingers crossed, folks. All of you guys were in Calcutta. You must come and visit our studio. Okay,
it's a huge dream come true. Looking forward to it, Boria.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Plenty more questions. Abhishek and Ishad have bad record at Ahmedabad. Abhishek had a fantastic record at Wankhede. How did it happen? Records are meant to be broken and things changed. But Ashok, truly, New Zealand is one such team which I think has played its best match against South Africa. How do you sustain that level of intensity? It doesn't happen.
Exactly. I mean, of course, they are very process oriented, no doubt about that. But to kind of sustain that kind of a thing is going to be difficult. I think Finn Allen has been in form. It's not just that one match thing. He was for Perth Scorchers, he was the highest scorer in the Big Bash League this year. And therefore, he's coming on the back of good form. And he's actually kind of played an innings of a lifetime, if you ask me. I mean, if you look at it in terms of pure strength in all the departments, on paper, I think India is easily the favorite.
Okay, let me give you 2-3 more questions. I was seeing Arshdeep reels. Varun, Abhishek are in a great mental state, or it's a way of keeping them jovial. Yeah, Ashok, this is important, right? I mean, mentally, how you keep someone like an Abhishek Sharma, or how you keep someone like a Varun Chakravarti. They need to believe that they are still, they'll be able to do the job in a big final. And this is one match game. I mean, a T20 final, Abhishek Sharma comes out and blazes, Varun Chakravarti picks 2-3, and the job can be done. It is about the game in the mind. Your thoughts, Ashok?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Look, the point is that this is the way Abhishek Sharma plays. Now, that's built into the entire thing, and therefore even if he comes out and tries to hit out, that's the way he's been dominating the opposition from a mental perspective. Now, the question that I would ask to the viewer really is, would you then rather prefer to watch him scratch around and make a very difficult kind of a 20 or a 30? Is that the way you want him to see him play? Not at all. I think this is what he really brings to the table. So you've got to give him the credit for saying that, I'm not afraid, I'm fearless, I'm not afraid of losing my wicket, and this is the way I play. And so that's the risk premium that you take when you take into that. And therefore, the responsibility of the team backing is to back him up and say, don't change your style, you're doing a good job, just go out and do it. And it's a matter of time before the world's #1 T20 batter comes back into his realm. So, and the same applies to Varun, the same applies to Arshdeep. If you looked at the last match really against England in the semi-finals, Arshdeep had that line that he was bowling, and he was getting thrashed around, but he didn't lose his nerve. He didn't go back and say, okay, now let me try something different. He kept at that, effectively backed up by Sanju Samson. In fact, Sanju did a great job of backing up and giving a lot of advice to both Varun and Arshdeep. I think that's very important, that you stay the course when it comes to execution. So it's really about backing them up and making sure that they execute to the plan.
Komal Singh makes an important point. Abhishek is a striker. He needs to be brave and not in any kind of doubt. He should go and enjoy and wholeheartedly, even while playing a risky shot. Good point, Komal Singh. Believer says New Zealand is winning this one. We will see what happens. Of course, they can win. That's why they are in the final. They are in the final not to go out there and give India book cricket practice. They are there to win the game. Shobhashachi Basu, congrats, sir. It's for everybody, my friend. Rev Sports Studio eventually belongs to every sports fan. This is a journey by journalists, for fans. We are not a Lala company. I was not born into an industrial family with crores of wealth. Neither does Ashok, nor does any of our investors, and nor do any of our people. We built it from scratch, and that's why we do our sport with a lot of love and a lot of passion. Last few questions. Everybody asking about Varun. Syed Nizamuddin, Varun mystery is no more a mystery. South Africa has shown the template to other teams on Varun. Is that what you also believe, Ashok? Varun worked out, or is it just a period that he will come good again because he's much too good a bowler?
Oh, absolutely. I think look, what do the records say? He is the world's #1 T20 bowler. You don't get to that pedestal that easily. Second, I think he's got enough armory, and it's really, a little bit of a mental block that he's having currently with regard to his length and with regard to his line. But he has the potential to take a wicket with every ball. Second, if you look at the tournament thus far, yes, he may have got thrashed for a lot of runs, but he's also come back at crucial times to take that crucial breakthrough, which has really helped India. I don't think that there is any merit in saying that he's out of form or that there is the case to replace him. Absolutely not.
Okay, last couple of questions. Very important point by Ashok. Okay, this is again Jeet 2014. India should start with Bumrah tomorrow to restrict Allen and Seifert. Best bowler should have the ball. Thoughts, Boryada? Ashok, you take that. I'll give mine. That best bowler to take out the two danger men.
So, I think there is a template that India has now kind of perfected. Back when we started the tournament, we had a lot of debate in terms of what is the strategy that India is employing with Arshdeep and with Hardik opening the bowling. But I think they have perfected this, and it's important that, and if you look at the semi-final match, what Surya Kumar Yadav did was to actually max it out with 5 of his bowlers. In fact, Shivam Dube was there only for the last over. I think that's a template that they have used, and they should be able to do it because Bumrah is able to come back even after the power play and really tighten the screws when it comes to the batsmen. And I think that they should stay with that.
Okay, so that's that. Last 2 or 3. Hardik is the key. He won Gujarat IPL with excellent new ball bowling. Hardik will obviously be the key. He's the best T20 all-round player in the world. Make no mistake. And about Bumrah, I think you will start with Arshdeep because of the swing. Arshdeep can get out any batter. His first over record is that good. I think Bumrah will come into play if the first 2 overs go for a lot of runs. Then he'll come into play in the third. If India picks a wicket in the first 2, then you have that option. But 1, 2, 3, Arshdeep, Hardik, Bumrah in that order, as far as I'm concerned, because these two are as good a bowler. Hardik in a final is always a go-to man. Hardik will want that occasion, soak it in, bounce, and this is a big ground. Can a top edge go for a catch? Of course it can. So unlike Wankhede, there will always be that. This is a good one. Priyanshu. Aksar is undefeated in ICC events, underrated player, deserves credit. Sad to see him in C category of contracts. Forget contract. But Aksar's 2 catches back in Ahmedabad. Remember the last World Cup final, Ashok T20 final, 31 ball, 47. That man has been stellar for India. Aksar Patel. A word on Aksar Patel.
Oh, absolutely. I think, he's the kind of bowler or the kind of player that every captain would love to have in their playing 11, because he brings a certain amount of ability to use the bat very effectively. He's able to get those quick breakthroughs, or when it comes to, for example, the power play, if that is required, he's able to come in and do it. And we saw his fielding prowess in the semi-final match. I think a fantastic all-round talent. I think a true inheritor of the Ravindra Jadeja position, if you were to ask me. I also want to make a point on Hardik Pandya. I went back and looked at the team that's played at Ahmedabad over the last few years. So if you go back in time to 2023, or I think even 2021, the 2 players who are common are Surya Kumar Yadav and Hardik Pandya. And so they bring an effectiveness in terms of the experience that they can bring.
Also, Varun,
Hardik has been consistent. Also
Varun. Varun was taken out after that and shows mental strength that he was able to come back. Not whatever you are, boss. Not Avlogger I don't know what that means. Best sports platform. Thank you very much. Multi-sports platform, not just cricket. That's something we take a lot of pride in. Even today, you will have All England coverage at a premium. Last night, I was dropping dead, having not slept for 2 nights. I watched Lakshya Sen beat Li Shifeng at 11:10 and 11:30, and then went to bed. That's just second nature to us. You have seen a Salima Tete interview today because tomorrow India's qualifiers start in the Women's Hockey World Cup in Telangana. I've had a chat with Dilip Tirki. He will be at the conclave. Hockey will be as much represented. That's what we take a lot of pride in. Ashok, last question. What does your heart say? Can the Ahmedabad jinx be broken?
If you ask me, this is the perfect setting. It doesn't get better than this to wipe out the memories of 2023. You can never really wipe out the memories, but you can write a new story, craft a really new story. And I think India right now has peaked at exactly the right time for the finals. I think all said and done, full marks to the team to have got to the finals. The final is really going to be, it's not about talent, it's not about the matchup, it's really going to be about how much you back yourself up and go out there and enjoy yourself.
নীল, আমি বুঝলাম না তুই কি বলছিস, তাড়াতাড়ি বল. If you want me to take your comment, I will quickly do that. Tell me. আচ্ছা, ওটা আমাদের নীল এটা কে জিজ্ঞেস করছে? আচ্ছা, whoever কে ছিল আমি বুঝতে পারলাম না. Focus should be to play spin well. Shubhashish RC. Okay, Jigar Khani, somebody. Ticket scam. Your thoughts before semi-final? It was sold out. I actually managed to buy. I've got to tell you this. When Book My Show started it, I managed to buy 3 which were delivered in Calcutta. I managed to buy. I was in the line. It came back again. They did sell it 2 days also after that. Tickets were being sold. So if you were, you've also got to think this. A lot of people waited till the last day to think, "Arey, I will buy the ticket only if India makes the final." So everybody is smart. So automatically tickets were sold out because of that. But the day tickets were available, Wankhede I was in the queue. I waited for 25 minutes. I didn't get it. Ahmedabad I was in the queue, and I did manage to get the tickets for the Ahmedabad game. So I'll put that on record. I will put that on record. I bought it. I buy tickets for every game because I buy tickets and give. That's what I've always done in my life. So I know, when you can get tickets. And Book My Show, I think, will release some more. I think we'll release some more. So we'll see. Priyanshu, great coverage. Actually, ever since Rev Sports came, India is winning ICC trophies. Not bad. Not bad. No, boss. 2023, Rev Sports was very much there. India did not win the ICC trophy. So that's, however much you give credit to Rev Sports, that is not true. But now that Ashok Nambutri has defied Donald Trump and Iran has landed in Dubai, in Ahmedabad, India will win the ICC trophy. Ashok has taken on the world, put his life on the line, and somehow managed to get to Ahmedabad. Ashok, you deserve to win tomorrow and celebrate. Thank you very much for joining me. Are you going to the press conference, or what's your plan?
No, I'm going to be actually trying to get a sense of what fans are talking about. I get the best out of the Uber drivers like you saw in Colombo. But for the moment, Boria, many happy returns of the day. All the best for the studio and looking forward to the Trailblazers conclave.
Thank you very much, Ashok. Look forward to some superb coverage tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. All the very best for the evening. Thank you. Folks, incredible 24 hours to go. We will bring you the maximum coverage. As a reporter or a journalist, you don't get a pass. Hello, I always get a pass, but there are not one people in Rev Sports or not one friend. Some people do know, ask for things. 7 people have been sent, 6 people in Ahmedabad. 2 will get match passes, 1 photographer, 1 reporter. The rest have to be sent in. I buy tickets. I do get some. I got to put that on record, and I make sure that all of my people are sent in. So that's why I do buy tickets all the time. Thank you very much for watching. And my biggest birthday present will be an Indian win. So I turn 50. If India wins, that's my birthday present. Thank you very much.